Hello everyone, Chad with Data Prep U here. Today we're going to tackle something that I've been asked about several times, and that is sentiment analysis using the Alteryx Designer. Let's take a look. Now before we get started, it's important to understand what sentiment analysis is. Sentiment analysis is looking at some free-form text, like somebody speaking about something or writing down a movie review or product review and trying to determine, is it more positive or more negative? It can really help you understand how your products are actually doing in the marketplace. Now, traditionally, that's a pretty tedious process, and it used to require a human to actually go through and code these different reviews to figure out if they are more positive or negative. But thanks to advancements in modern technology and artificial intelligence, companies like Microsoft actually give you the ability to do this simply using an API. Now, typically using an API might be a little more complex, but thanks to Alteryx, it's actually just one single tool. So in this case, what we're doing is we're looking at a workflow that takes sample data from a Kaggle competition. If you're not familiar with Kaggle, I've got a link to the competition itself down below in the description. Take a look, it's really, really cool stuff. But in this case, what we're doing is this competition specifically was looking at Rotten Tomatoes data to try to better understand what was actually going on with that data. Was it more positive or was it more negative for this specific movie? Now, what I've done is I've built out a simple workflow that takes some of that data, in this case, 10 records or so, and it pushes it through the API or the tool that Alteryx has that connects to this Microsoft Cognitive Services API. All this really is a location where you have to enter in nothing more than an account key, and you say which of these fields is actually going to be analyzed. In this case, we have a field name called phrase, and then you tell it what type of analysis you want it to do: sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, and so on and so forth. Now, there are further descriptions on Microsoft's website that go into a lot more detail about what each of those different services are. Now, the nice thing is the end result of this is it takes each of those phrases and gives you a score between 0 and 1. Closer to 1 is more positive, closer to 0 is more negative. Now, all of this at this point does seem relatively straightforward, but there is a little bit of setup that needs to happen. Luckily, Jordan from Alteryx has actually put together a very simple walkthrough in setting up your Microsoft Azure account. Now, most of the types of services are paid, but you get up to, I believe, 5,000 calls to the API per month. So you can at least test it out to make sure it's going to work for you. That's why I'm limiting mine to only 10 calls each time, because each one of those records that we were going through is actually an individual call to the database. So it's important to understand that. Now, setting this up is relatively straightforward. You can see that Jordan has actually walked you through step by step each part of the process. I did it in about 5 to 10 minutes. It was really painless overall. And now I actually have a nice little dashboard here on the Azure Marketplace, where I've even set up my own specific custom account key for a sentiment test. And then finally, there is that link to that Kaggle competition with the Rotten Tomatoes data where you can download that data for free. I have made it available, all nicely packaged up with this workflow, which you can also get down in the description below. Once again, this is Chad with Data Prep U. We're talking about sentiment analysis using the Azure Cognitive Analytics API from Microsoft, along with Alteryx, to simply analyze some free-form text data, some movie review data, trying to understand, were these reviews more positive or more negative? Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching. If you liked what you saw, please show us that support by liking this video and clicking on subscribe below. Those two actions are a tremendous help. Now, if you do want to check out the workflow, I've included a link below, but if you do not yet have Alteryx, there's actually a link to a free 2-week trial down there as well. Please take a look. There's no obligation. Once again, thanks for watching. See you next time.